right. What's up, Honolulu Blues listeners? This episode is sponsored by the app Autograph. Use the code GOLIONS, one word, when you sign up. The only app that scours all social media platforms to bring you all of your favorite team's content, keeping you as up to date with the Lions news as Dan Campbell himself. Autograph also has fee-free tickets. Yeah, you heard me. Stop buying $100 tickets with $300 worth of fees added on top. It's time we start to normalize not paying for fees on our tickets. Go to the app Autograph to get your fee-free ticket. Autograph's co-founder, Tom Brady, is also giving away a signed TB12 football. To get entries to win it, just go to Autograph and play in their Survivor Pool Weekly Challenge. Earn an entry for every week you correctly guess an NFL team that will win. If you lose one week, no biggie. Just come back next week and try again. Earn up to 18 entries, and maybe you will have a Tom Brady signed football at your house. Just download the app Autograph and use the code GOLIONS. It never gets old. Tastes so much better than Taco Tuesday when it's a sweet Victory Tuesday. Welcome in, everyone. This is the Honolulu Blues Show presented by Peak and Autograph. As always, I'm Nick. That's Julius. That's Adam. And we are the Honolulu Blues. Today, we have a giddy full show for everyone as we will recap the ass whipping of a lifetime and then look forward to another. But first, gentlemen, before we dive into these games, let's play a little game. I got a little trivia for us today. Adam has still been whooping butt when it comes to mini games, so we're going to let Julius. We might just do this until Julius wins one. So for a couple years, we may be doing this. I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right. This is trivia. Adam, we're going to start with you. Let me get this pulled up here.
Trivia. That sounds a little like Jeopardy, which is in Julius's ball field.
It's true. And if Adam misses, Julius, you will have a chance to steal to take a point. Vice versa, Adam, when Julius is up. Adam, after beating the Jaguars, the Lions are now 9-1. That's their best record since they were 10-0 in 1934, which is also the only time in Lions history that they won 10 games in a row, which the 2024 Lions have a chance at tying this week. But Adam, in 1934, who did the Lions beat to get their 10th win to go to 10-0? Was it the Boston Redskins, the Chicago Cardinals, the St. Louis Gunners, or the Brooklyn Dodgers?
Ooh.
I am going to say this too. All four of these teams are teams that we played in 1934. These are not made up names. None of them.
I don't want to talk this out in case Julius steals. I'm gonna do a mental talk through. I'm gonna try to go back to reading the question maker. That's you, Nick. So I don't think you put the answer right off the get-go. I don't think you do it for the second one. Let's go C, St. Louis Gunners.
Adam is impeccable when it comes to this. You are correct. It is the St. Louis Gunners.
Let's go.
The Lions beat all four of these teams on their way to 10-0. They ended up losing the next three to the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. Yes, Chicago had two teams. Adam takes a 1-0 lead. Let's bring it up to Julius. Julius, the Lions set a franchise record with a plus 46 win margin last week versus the Jaguars. They beat the plus 45 margin that we had put up in 2011 in week 2 versus the Kansas City Chiefs when we beat them 48-3. So the question is, Who led the Lions in receiving yards week 2, 2011 versus the Kansas City Chiefs when we won 48-3? Was it Burleson, Kelvin Johnson, Titus Young, or Jahavid Best?
It's tricky.
It is tricky. I also can't see Julius, so if he's muted, let him know.
Julius very well could be muted, or just could be going through.
By the way, I'm gonna go with C. Titus Young.
C. Titus Young is incorrect.
Yeah.
Adam.
Cool. Nick would never put 2 C answers back to back.
Bro,
Oh, dude, I'm gonna start doing.
I'm not a good guesser of things like you, Adam. I just knew I wasn't picking Calvin, so that leaves you, Burleson and Best. There you go, Adam.
Javid Best seems like the trick question here, where he had like a screen pass for like 75 yards, leading receiving. Why would Javid Best be on?
It's possible.
I'm gonna zig when I should zag and go Mr. Obvious, Calvin Johnson.
That is incorrect also. It was Nate Burleson who led the team in receiving yards that day. And it is still 1-0. Adam, let's move on to the next question. We got 2 more left, 1 for each. The Lions set another franchise record with 644 net total yards. The previous record was 623, set in 2013 against the Cowboys when Matthew Stafford faked a spike and dove over the lineman for a game-winning touchdown. We also remember Megatron finished with 329 yards himself.
One touchdown, one freaking touchdown through all that.
One touchdown, but a great touchdown. Let me get the question up. Who finished second in receiving for the Lions in 2013 versus the Dallas Cowboys? Was it Theo Riddick, Chris Durham, Reggie Bush, or Brandon Pettigrew? You got to know your receivers out here, boys.
I'm having weird flashbacks to Chris Durham when the Lions didn't have a wide receiver 2 and he was thrown out there. I'm going to go B, Chris Durham.
B. Chris Durham is correct.
That was the first question that I knew. I had to guess.
I am glad I didn't give it to you then. All right.
It's just the way things go on here, man. It's just rough.
That is rough. Adam is up 2-0, but this one is worth 3 points. If Julius can get it correct, he will win the game. It has all come down to this. This upcoming game versus the Colts.
I'm not clutch, bro. I'm not clutch.
I believe in you, Julius. This upcoming game against the Colts will be the 45th all-time matchup between the Lions and the Colts. The Lions have only won 1 time since 1997. So the question is, what was the number 1 movie in 1997 domestically? Was it Liar Liar, Jurassic Park, The Lost World, Air Force One, or Men in Black?
I'm going to go D, Men in Black.
D is correct. Men in Black wins it all. Julius gets the monkey off his back. He gets the victory, yes. 3-2. Quite the victory. But
I got an old man question. Finally got an old man question.
Well, for the record, I would have said Liar Liar. So,
does anyone even know what the movie Air Force One is? Because it was number.
Yeah, that's they hijacked the president's plane, right? With Harrison Ford.
Oh, I forgot. All right, you know what? I do remember that movie. I'm glad you could say that.
Liar would have been a good guess, though. But I knew Men in Black was like number 1 the year it was out. So that's why
Julius was like, where are you, Julius? Like 20 when all this stuff happened?
I was like 8.
Adam's trying his best to throw some old shade as we give him
you weren't born yet, Adam. So
I was just being born.
You the new millennium, bro. You the new millennium.
All right, that was fun. Let's get to the breakdown of this game, and it's right here. The Lions laid a beatdown on the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Lions scored a touchdown on their first 7 straight drives. Goff almost had more touchdowns than incompletions again. The defense played stout. The O-line looked amazing. The running backs ran all over. 644 net yards, 645 total yards. Franchise record, second most in an NFL game in the last 10 years. We also had a plus 46 win margin, franchise record, 38 first downs, franchise record, and the most in an NFL game in the last 10 years. Plus 475 yard margin, most in an NFL game since 1979. So let's break it down, boys. Let's just get right into the captain, the man who steered this ship, starting with the biggest bounce back game I have ever seen an NFL player do, Jared Goff, who is commending this ship week in and week out. And yet guys like Nick Wright and other people are still saying he's not even a top quarterback in the league. So, Adam, I'm going to jump to you here. Just talk to me about how impressive of a bounce-back game this was for Jared Goff. Do you think he did enough to get himself in the MVP conversation again?
Yes, I do. He was, after that Texans game, plus 4,000 to win MVP. His odds dropped like a fly. And I quickly threw just $5, but still $5 nonetheless for Jared Goff to win MVP. I already have a $5 one down when he was plus 2,000 to start the season. And he has jumped all the way back up to like the plus 700 to plus 800 range. But the consensus third spot behind Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. Also, the Bills game, that game I think will decide who the MVP is. I think Lamar's playing at MVP caliber, but I think the Steelers are going to win the division. And if the Steelers win that division, how can you give an MVP to a guy that can't win his own division? So I think Lamar will have the stats, have the numbers, but he will not have the division. The Bills and Lions, of course, are top to top, likely, going to walk into their division crowns, and we play them. So if Jared Goff can just outduel Josh Allen on the main stage, a 425 game, which hoping it gets flexed. I would like to see a little primetime action, but I do think that 425 slot is still going to be the Tony Romo, Tom Brady slot where
game of the week.
Mm-hmm. Goff, what a bounce back. Nick, I find it hilarious that you damn near called this and then you took it back right at this last second and said, no, I'm not going with Goff. But you literally said 4 touchdowns and a touchdown to J-Mo and Brock Wright. We have the tape. Go look back the last YouTube. So, Nick, I'll give you some credit for that. But Goff, what a turnaround. This is who he is. This is a guy that doesn't play 2 awful games in a row. You could get a couple bad games in a row, but he is not tanking multiple games in a row. And that's exactly what the Lions need. Just a quarterback that can just be consistent, be good, have upside, and have a safe floor. And that's what Goff is delivering us right now, a safe floor and a massive upside.
It's unbelievable to see how quick. It's just NFL is so recency bias. You throw 5 picks one game, you'll never win the MVP. You come back and you just look amazing and you're like, well, okay, actually, you know what? You might be able to win this MVP again. It is crazy. But what quarterback would be great if he didn't have his go-to guy? For Jared Goff, it's Amon-Ra St. Brown, just really finding his way back to what we all came to know and love last year. Win off on the field, win off with 11 catches and 161 yards, 2 touchdowns, leaving the Jags in the dust over and over and over again. So, Julius, we'll jump down to you here. How nice was it to see St. Brown, just going back to his old ways and trouncing the Jags? And then how good was that Dragon Ball Z celebration? That was amazing. Talk to me about it.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's having another all-pro season, 11 catches, 161 yards. He did whatever he wanted to do against Jacksonville. He could have had 300 yards receiving if he wanted to. He could have been the Lions' only offense if they needed him to. But this Lions team don't need that. But he went off anyways. The Dragon Ball Z celly was one of the most creative celebrations I've seen all season. Amon-Ra St. Brown is kind of becoming like a top 5 NFL celebrator at this point. Like, you talk about all the prima donna receivers and, all the Justin Jefferson gritties. Amon-Ra St. Brown's creativity and his collaborations with his teammates makes some of the best celebrations, including that awesome Super Saiyan blast, and he popped back perfectly. He has so great body control. Even on NFL celebrations, you can see how athletic he is, just doing like celebration movements. But he popped back in like he got really shot. It was really cool to see millennial like myself. Yes. Shout out to Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah, he's just so great. And you say top 5, I think top 1. I don't think he's a better celebrator. No one that comes up that spends as much time as him that gets it. And then to be able to get in, like, sure, you might be able to be better than him if you get in the end zone 4 or 5 times and you got like 3, 4, 5 cool celebrations. You know what I mean? No.
Right.
St. Brown has been in the end zone for 8 straight weeks and comes up with a better celebration every single week. It's just better than the last. It's crazy. That will not be the last celebration we talk about. However, we are going to flip it over real quick to the other wide receiver. And let's just get to the other celebration. ASB was not the only receiver who went off. Adam called Waymo, predicted it, and still couldn't get offensive MVP. That's a little teaser for our game later on in the show. But he did finish with 124 yards, a touchdown, and on that touchdown was a 64-yard bomb, ending in a beast mode dive, which was just literally jaw-dropping when you saw it live. Adam, just talk to me a little bit about how nice it was to see Waymo explode like this, and just how awesome was that dive into the end zone.
You knew it was coming. It was, 2 weeks. He hadn't scored a touchdown since his suspension, was just coming back. Sam Laporta was out. Terrible defense. You knew the play action, the deep bomb would be there. It wasn't really like a typical JMO deep bomb. It was one of the over middle ones where he just, runs for the last, 30, 40 yards.
And he was jogging. He wasn't even running, dude.
I truly think we haven't seen JMO's full speed this year.
Not once.
Let me say full speed with the ball, because I'm sure he's ran full speed on routes where, been incomplete pass, not seeing him, etc. But with the ball, we have not seen JMO at full speed. As to Gibbs, we've seen Gibbs hit that top notch, that second gear where I'm excited to see JMO do it, and it's going to come where 2 safeties, 2 linebackers, whoever, are going to be closing in on either ends, and he just bursts through the gap and explodes into the end zone. But man, oh man, JMO, keep doing you, JMO. Don't listen to any of the old men haters out there saying, "Oh, why is he? He's going to get himself hurt doing these dumb celebrations. I'm sick of it." What people don't understand is that's what turns JMO into Waymo, is like when he gets that swag, that confidence that I'm the best mother effer on the field right now. That is what makes him a better player. And if he needs to showboat, if he needs to, dive in the end zone, whatever, as long as he's not dropping the ball at the 1 yard line, I'm cool with it all. As long as he's not, earning, penalties all the time, one or 2 here and there, whatever. Jake Bates will clean it up. But man, oh man, let JMO just be Waymo. That's all I gotta say.
I love that. I love that we don't have any Jake Bates topics in here today, but Adam was made sure to mention too. Got to get a mention in there once. Real quick, has Waymo done enough to make us forget about the suspensions? And because just a few weeks ago we were all like, if JMO gets in trouble one more time, my God, I'll never fucking care about him again in my life. And now we're like, yeah, actually, JMO, he's fucking fine. He's rested. He's great. Adam, do you think he's done enough to get everyone back on the Waymo train?
Yes, I think
not easy.
It's recency bias, man. If he just keeps making big plays, we're just going to fall in love with him day after day, anytime he makes a splash. And that's kind of all it is. He's a big playmaker. So if he does, I don't know. Let's say he throws a punch in practice and gets a bad look or something. If he goes out and scores a 50-yard touchdown, everyone will be like, "Oh, he's the best," So JMO, just keep exploding for us, and we are on a collision course to the Super Bowl if all things keep going like this.
I love that. Julius, we'll get to you, but real quick, I do want to talk to you about Waymo because you were kind of the one of the guys who were not happy about the suspension. So I'm just curious if he's done enough for you to make you forget all in the past. And then I have a second question for you, Julius. Do you think right now, today, do you think we re-sign Jameson Williams when the time is due?
I do think we re-sign him when the time is due. I was wrong about James. Matter of fact, I wasn't even wrong. I just was worried about him because he just got in trouble too many times. I never doubted the kid. I always believed in Waymo. Matter of fact, I'm going to let it be known right now. Waymo himself is my favorite Lion right now. He is my favorite Lion, bro. I love that guy. I love Waymo. I'll bail his ass out of jail tomorrow if they lock his ass up.
Yeah, boy, we all would.
He is, dog. He is a game breaker. He is that guy. He just, he plays within the Lion system the best he can. As long as he stays on the field and all the off the field stuff is ironed out, the man, you got to resign the guy. He has world-class speed, bro. He's a fan favorite. We need a wide receiver too. We can't just roll with Amon-Ra for life. I mean, come on, bring J-Mo along for the ride.
We probably could. We'd probably be just fine with him.
We'd be good with him about 15, 20 years.
Speaking of getting paid, someone's going to be getting paid sooner rather than later. That guy's name is Kirby Joseph. He's saying, bring me my money every single week. He continued his dominance on the field and told teams, if you're not ready for the Lions, you're going to get your ass whooped. Literally verbatim right out of his mouth, and I fucking love it. He's got the second lowest QBR against him in the NFL, only behind Brian Branch, who has also showed up week in and week out and showed up huge on Sunday with an amazing day and one of the biggest tackles I have ever seen. Julius, just talk to us about how amazing it is to have the best safety duo in the league in our secondary. And then, do you like the smash and grab nickname? Do you like what Adam's pushing, which is Super Smash Bros? Where are you at on the nicknames for these boys?
I really like the smash and grab because, but I feel like it's kind of individualizing their skill sets. Like, Brian Branch is the smasher and Kirby is the grabber. That's not necessarily the case. They both smash and grab.
That's true.
But I do like the nickname. It rhymes, kind of like with the Sonic and Knuckles, the mythology works. The development of the Lions having the best safety duo in the league is a big reason why we're standing where we're standing at right now. It's the Lions team, it's the Lions defense. Brian Branch in particular is playing at defensive MVP levels. He's starting to get nods for it too. Like people out in national media, they're talking about Brian Branch like they were talking about Aiden Hutchinson a couple months ago. He's one of the best defensive players in the league. He's number one in chaos rate. He causes more chaos than any defensive player in the NFL on a game-to-game basis.
I'm a man when stats get to my heart, dude. Number one in chaos rate.
Number one in chaos rate.
I don't know where you found that.
You guys that
found my heart,
number one in chaos rate at the NFL season? This is the list of guys. Brian Urlacher, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed. Just absolute dogs on defense. Hall of Famers. That's what we're looking at with Brian Branch right now and the way he's performing all over the field. And then we got Kirby Joseph, the ball hawk himself, ready to break all kind of records. And he's right. We're gonna have to pay. We're gonna have to pay these dudes. I hope we can do it. We might have to let somebody walk. It'd kill my heart, boys, if we gotta let Kirby Joseph walk over to the Minnesota Vikings or the Bears or some other NFC rival because we just got too much talent.
So what's ironic about all this is if we had made the big trade for Max Crosby, I think there's a high chance we would have had to let go a Kirby, a Branch, maybe not have re-signed it. Like someone of our core, we would have had to sacrifice to keep Crosby in that massive contract they signed. So, Nick, hindsight 2020 on that. Not too bad. Good call.
I feel like I said that a couple times. Yes. Yes, smash and grab is great. I love that Julia said that rhymed in the beginning because I'm pretty sure only Lil Wayne can make smash and grab rhyme. But we can make that work. I'm sure that's what you were referencing. I'm sure you meant Lil Wayne could make that rhyme in your.
They sound alike.
I had to think it through for the first minute that you were talking.
It's midnight where I am.
It's true. You're not too. No, that was just great. Let's move on to another dynamic duo. Sonic and Knuckles exploded onto the Jaguars scene here. Monty putting any talk of him losing a step aside. Any talk about Gibbs being the best running back aside, they are absolutely 1A and 1B, and they showcased it on Sunday. So we'll go over to Adam to talk about this dynamic duo. Week after week, we talk about how good the duo is. Do you think there is a shot? I do want you to talk to me just about how awesome it was to watch them run all over Jacksonville and catch all over Jacksonville is great. But do you think there's a chance that either of them could win Offensive Player of the Year, or are we looking at the first ever team co-offensive player of the year, or even maybe triple, get Penei Sewell, David Montgomery, and Jahmyr Gibbs, and they all win offensive player of the year this year? It's the first time ever. Is that a possibility?
Realistically, No, but it should be
Right.
because these two, if you take out Dave Montgomery and Gibbs, our offense, so much different. And not saying Vaki and Craig Reynolds could hold down the fort, but man, oh man, you see the production that those two guys give us. Montgomery, right off the bat, had it looked like he was going down at the line of scrimmage. Next thing you know, he gains 3-4 yards. And it was either that drive or the next one. Gibbs hit at the line of scrimmage, spins, guns it to the corner, touchdown. It's like these dudes are so hard to tackle, so good for the team. But unfortunately, that's just not how the media works. And the voters, they see the Saquons, the Derrick Henrys, scoring all these touchdowns, having all sorts of fun. Honestly, if Saquon wasn't doing his thing right now, there could be a case for him because Derrick Henry is slowly not falling off, but slowly not, playing to top tier offensive player of the year. And if Lamar Jackson is MVP-esque, I don't know how you can, justify Derrick Henry on the same team being offensive player as well when you have the MVP. So it's like someone is getting a little overrated here. So yes, Jahmyr Gibbs and Monty should absolutely be offensive player of the years. They have been phenomenal. Just putting up stupid rushing numbers that if you told us 5 years ago, we would have been like, no way. We haven't had a guy rush for 100 yards since Reggie Bush. You mean to tell me we're going to get one on a weekly basis, maybe two? No way. But look at us now.
Look at us now. It would be really tough for them to win Offensive Player of the Year. Jahmyr Gibbs is like 500 yards behind Derrick Henry, or 400 yards and like 7 touchdowns. So it'll be tough. But honestly, it truly should come down to, in my opinion, it should be a Gibbs, Monty, and Sewell co-winners. That's without those three, the Lions are not where they are. But wishful thinking. I figured it'd be fun to ask.
Which one can we not lose out of those three?
Sewell.
Sewell.
Vaki and Craig Reynolds could probably do just what Monty and Gibbs are doing. And people might blast me for that. Put it on the internet. I don't care. Our offensive line is so good. I wouldn't be afraid with Julius and Adam running our backfield. I bet we could still win games with them. With Dan Campbell, making you run through a wall, I think we'd be just fine. That offensive line is so good. So you can't lose Sewell. After that, I would say Gibbs and then Monty, honestly. Though I love them all. I
remember that little Sewell ankle tweak in the preseason. Remember that? That was scary.
Yes, it was. It was very scary. Let's keep it moving. Let's get it over to the defensive side again for our man Julius. Jack Campbell was amazing. Jack Campbell has been Julius's main go-to guy since we drafted him. He earned himself a game ball from MCDC, 9 combined tackles and a half a sack. We also lost Alex Anzalone for 6 to 8 weeks this game. It's huge. So, Julius, is Jack Campbell ready to fill the shoes of Alex Anzalone? And did he show you anything last week that, sways your answer to that question?
I think he's shown me something the last month. Because I was looking over his PF over the last 4 games for the Lions. Jack Campbell is a top 8 linebacker per PFF in the NFL. He's all over the field. I think he is going to move to his natural position. And Mike, this is perfect timing for it. He's been ascending. And now he just, unfortunately for Anzalone, he's a team captain and he's a leader of heart and soul of the squad. But I have to think that Jack Campbell can do just as good of a job, if not better, at the Mike position for the Lions. Which will require, it looks like Ben Neiman is going to slide over to the weak side spot. We got Matt Rodrigo still roaming in there. Man, we missing Barnes right now. I'll tell you that. That's what really hurts now that we lost Anzalone. Barnes was always that Anzalone light kind of on the bench. But Jack Campbell, it's time. It is time. Just like all the other Lions walking up the Pride Rock, the choir singing in the background. Hey, it's time. Exactly.
It's a circle of life. It really
circle
is
of life, baby. That's what it is, Jack Campbell.
It really is a circle of life, man. When someone goes down, next man up. So do you think we need to go out and get anyone, or is it next man up mentality? We will keep it in-house.
I think it's next man up, definitely with Jack Campbell, and we're going to keep it in-house. I think they trust their backup linebackers at this point. But if any trouble starts to brew this, specifically against the Colts, it's a good pseudo trap game to be tested, to test Jack Campbell out. But at this point, I think we're good. We're good rolling with in-house. And I love the circle of life as the new nickname for the Lions' next man up mentality. We can just call it that.
That's good. We're doing it. Circle of life, bro. That's a circle of life. Adam, before we jump over to your next question, did you have anything to talk about when it came to the Anzalone injury, Jack Campbell stepping up, or getting someone to replace anyone?
Anzalone sucked. That was tough, especially when, I don't know if you guys caught it, but they showed him, and you could see his mouth. It's broke. And every Lions fan that saw that was just like, oh, no, please not be broke, just something tweaked. But unfortunately, 6 to 8 weeks, he'll be out. Good news is, should be back for playoffs. And if we get that first round bye, that'll be even better. So not crazy worried. But I think this provides another opportunity for, the circle of life, next man up. All these other guys, Ben Niemann, Rodrigo, Trevor Nowitzki, Jack Campbell, all those guys need to step up. And honestly, Zadarius Smith, he might be playing some outside linebacker, dropping back, seeing what he could do, because I know he's a versatile player as well. So Anzalone going down sucks. But, man, if the Lions don't miss a beat losing Anzalone and Hutch, this will truly be like the hammer of just what Aaron Glenn has done, what this Lions defense has become, how good they've been getting, and you will know that we're going to be set for a long time, no matter who is playing defense for us. Truly, as long as we have Dan Campbell coaching, I think the Lions will be contenders for a long time.
I agree. It's crazy. I think what we're about to see is Jack Campbell take the torch from Anzalone and be the guy that we drafted in the first round. And when Anzalone comes back, and probably for the rest of this season, he'll get his spot right back. Sure. Like, I'm not saying anything like that. But by next year, if Campbell plays the way we expect him to for these final 7 games of the regular season, I think we are going to see him taking a major leap in commanding our defense and being the first round guy that everyone bashed when we first made that pick. We are going to keep it over with Adam, who just dropped off, but he's back. I love it. Adam, Zadarius Smith had 3 pressures and a half a sack with the great Trump dance to boot. We finally got to see him in a Lions uniform, and it didn't disappoint. How excited were you just to see him this week, just to see the production he gave us? And then how excited are you for him and Aiden Hutchinson next year?
It is going to be so cool next year. I feel like we are going to be 04 Pistons era. You saw Zadarius wearing the Rasheed Wallace jersey, just smiling, as happy as could be. I don't think I've ever seen a free agent be so happy to get to Detroit in a long time through all 4 Detroit sports. He was just grinning ear to ear, so excited, and called him for the sack. I said once he had that Sheed jersey on, I just had a weird feeling. Got that. It was a half sack, credit to him. But the best part was this dude ripped off like 6 celebrations after he made that. He did the crawl, the E, the hop up, the 1 dance, the 2 dance, and then the Trump dance. And then, then he started celebrating with, I think it was Rodrigo.
Rodrigo did the Trump dance with him.
Just like, oh my gosh, this dude, he is so for, the culture for the Lions. But I will say, when he went down with that little stinger and kind of like took his helmet off, I was worried. I was very worried. I thought this was like some sort of injury where because players sometimes will know when it's bad, and sometimes cramps, stingers, getting hit in the nuts, even concussions can be like that, where you think the dude just broke his bone, but then next thing you know, he's in on the next drive and looking fine. And luckily, knock on wood, keep banging that wood, Darius came back in and looked pretty good. I do believe he was on a snap count. I'm pretty sure he hardly played the 4th quarter, probably the majority of the 3rd quarter. But when this dude needs to go full force against, when we play Green Bay again, probably the 2 Bears games, the Bills, and the 49ers. So kind of like our last 7 games. I think we're going to see something special out of him. I think he's still got some juice left in the tank, and the Lions just being this good is only going to make him better.
Yeah, it was exciting to see it. When he went down, all I'd been talking about, the reason I didn't want to trade for anyone was like the second we trade for someone, he's going to get injured on the very first game, and it's going to be all moot, and we aren't going to even freaking realize it. We're not going to see anything. And I saw it happen. I was like, I freaking knew it, dude. But he came back, and he was great. Knock on wood if you're with me. Let's keep it moving. Julius, let's round this game out with the one last topic of conversation. Dan Campbell. He shows no mercy going for it on 4th down when I think we were up like 28-3 at the time. He challenged a Jacksonville play when we were up 52-6. Do you agree with me on thinking that this is the coolest coach of all time? No mercy, no regrets, and just how awesome is it having Dan Campbell lead the Detroit Lions?
It's amazing. He's my favorite coach of all time. This team embodies everything about him, and you can just tell in those, particularly in those post-game locker room celebrations. Like I've never seen a coach command. Even I remember when they were a losing team his first year, he used to have these post-game, the losing little huddles, and it was just as passionate back then. It was just in a losing sense, but now since we're winning so much, you can actually see that they've been bought in this whole time. Dan Campbell, no mercy. I just want to shout out Chris Christie, former Republican governor in New Jersey, calling my coach classless. I bet you won't say it in his face. I bet you won't say it in no Lions fan face. But I just had to get that out because that's really what it is. Some stupid politician. He's riding up that scar. Oh, God. Those Lions, they've been so lucky throughout their whole existence. And now they're winning by a lot over these teams, these poor teams. Keep it up. Keep it up, Dan Campbell. We love it. Play with no mercy, blow teams out. Kirby Joseph gave a great interview after the game saying, if you want to beat us, you got to beat us. We're not going to play down to your level just so you guys can feel good about yourselves. We're going to break y'all off and go home. That's what the job is. So I just love this mentality of this team right now, and it's all because of Dan Campbell, the greatest Lions coach of all time.
It really is. Maybe the greatest coach of all time. You know what? Listen to that maybe got me thinking. I'm going to go find our episode when we hired Dan Campbell. How's everyone think? Does everyone want me to find that?
That's a great idea, Nick.
Do it, yes.
I'm gonna find that. We're gonna clip some clips from it. We're gonna clip some clips. All right. That was great. Let's move on. Let's go to the Colts game. Like I mentioned earlier, the Lions and Colts are meeting each other for the 45th time. The Colts currently lead the series, 22 wins, 20 losses, and 2 ties. The Colts are 5-6 and currently sit in 8th place in the AFC. The Lions are 9-1 and currently hold the number 1 spot in the entire NFC and NFL. So first, before we dive in, let's get to the injury report as much as we can. It is Tuesday. We understand the injury reports aren't going to be coming out, but we scoured, we dove the internet. We went through everything we could. We went through the articles. We found some stuff. Adam, why don't you lead us off? Talk to us about any injuries for the Colts.
So the big injury for the Colts came a couple weeks ago. It was to center Ryan Kelly. He has been put on IR. This happened last week. He had surgery and all that, so his season's over. But they're going to be without their starting center yet another week. Jonathan Taylor was having an ankle issues a few weeks ago, came back last week, looked good, and then this week he had the most snaps he's played all season, 63. So it seems he's back to 100%. Michael Pittman Jr., he missed a game last week. He returned to game field action. Or 2 weeks ago he missed. Last week, I guess, he returned. So he's expected to play. The one questionable guy, another offensive tackle, Central Michigan alum Bernhard Raimann, missed last week. He still is questionable right now. Didn't practice all last week. Practice report hasn't been out yet, so it's kind of TBD. But if you don't practice and don't play, if he doesn't practice, the first probably tomorrow and Thursday, I don't expect him to play. And then, I'll just throw a little Anthony Richardson there because he's missed the last 2 weeks. Finally got his starting job back. Wasn't hurt or anything. Was just benched to stupidity by Shane Steichen and beat the Jets. Now, this is the Jets, and they are debatably one of the worst teams in the NFL right now. Rodgers just looks so washed. I wish so bad he was doing this to the Packers. Anthony Richardson, I guess you could say, got a GM fired. Jets fired their GM today. So he's playing better. He looked good. It seemed like they were calling more run plays, more things to cater towards his strengths. So it seems like Steichen's got it down, but I 100% expect the Lions to wreak havoc on Anthony Richardson, and I expect a 2-interception game, which we'll get to later.
We will get to Anthony Richardson and us playing against him in a minute here as well. But first, let's get to Julius and his injury report for the Detroit Lions.
All right, early week injuries for the Lions. First off, some news on a man who has not played a snap this season and will not play a snap this season, Ife Melifonwu. He got taken off IR about a week ago. He just got put back on it today. So, yeah, it looks like he's going to need some extra surgery going on with his knee. And it's unfortunate. They took him off IR. They were planning to install him.
Different injury, too.
Yeah. Oh, different injury. They were planning to install him at the third linebacker spot. They liked him. Instead of Neiman, they liked Ife lining up down there on the weak side, and I think that would have been perfect.
That would have been so fun.
That was so perfect. It just imagine putting a tack dog like Melifonwu out there, linebacker.
Oh man, that would have been.
Unfortunately, we won't be able to see it. He got put back on the IR, and his season is over. Injury-prone player. He's only played 34 games in his career, started 12. He started to come on last year, but it's all over now. Alex Anzalone, like we mentioned, 6 to 8 weeks, broken forearm. Hopefully we have him back by the playoffs. Sam Laporta, we didn't have him last week. Didn't matter one bit. My dog Brock Wright showed up.
Yeah, he
saddened Chris Christie. But Laporta is day-to-day this week with his shoulder. So he should be back for Indianapolis. I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, hey, let's give it another week, man. Let's give it another week to heal up.
Truly.
And Shane Zylstra goes off or something like that. But Laporta is day-to-day. Zadarius is day-to-day. He's just been dealing with he's 34 years old. Guy just, he's up there in age. He's dealt with a lot of injuries in his career, and it's just like managing it now. So that's what it is with Zadarius. It's still early. Let's see anything else. I think that is about it on the injury front so far this week. It's still early. We'll see what comes out later on.
Absolutely. We will appreciate the injury report, boys. Let's get to a couple questions about this game. The Colts are fighting hard to stay in the playoffs. They were 4-6. They won last week. They're 5-6. They got Anthony Richardson starting again. They'll absolutely bring every single thing that they have against the Lions. We have the target on our back right now. The Colts will do anything and everything to help their season right now. Adam, this is the 5th road game for the Detroit Lions in 7 games. It's so much travel. We talked about a trap game last week with the Jags at home. It was never really even a thought. The Colts now at home. We're traveling again for the 5th time in 7 games. No rest. Anzalone's out. The Colts are going to give it everything they got. Is this the most trappable game that we are going to play this season or no?
I'm going to say no, because I said this last week. We don't believe in trap games here around at the Honolulu Blues. This Lions team is just too good. And in fact, if the Lions had beaten the Bucs, I would almost be a little more concerned about just that first loss. So as weird as this sounds, losing to the Bucs might have been a blessing in disguise, where it was like, hey, this is your wake up. It's happening early, not, crunch time last 5-6 games of the season. So the Lions, they are doing just unspeakable things. They're playing similar to how the 2007 Patriots were. 7 straight touchdowns to open a game. First team to do it since the 2007 Patriots. just playing phenomenal. Offense, defense, all around the ball. I don't think it should be a problem. Anthony Richardson, he very well could have that, that moment, but I don't think that he will be able to do enough to beat the Lions. Don't get me wrong. I think he could put up, 21 points, but I'm just as confident the Lions could put up 35 and just, cruise to the finish with this game. And also Anthony Richardson, I hope we just blitz, pressure, make him throw that ball, spy him every single play. I know Aaron Glenn doesn't really believe in the spy, so that'll be interesting to see how that goes. But if we want to let Anthony Richardson try to beat us using his arm, go for it. I've seen him miss a million wide open receivers down the field. And granted, we might give up one, maybe two, but he's not getting, 3, 4, 40, 50, 60-yard touchdowns against the Lions. And that's what would happen if, you bring the house. So no, I don't think it'll be a trap game, but spread-wise, it wouldn't shock me to see the Colts, either backdoor cover the spread or the Lions kind of,
We'll get to your score prediction in a minute, sir. We'll get to your score prediction in a minute. You hold that thought. Julius and Adam just told us all about Anthony Richardson, but I want to get your thoughts on him as well. The Lions has a history of being bullied by agile quarterbacks. Does this big bruising Anthony Richardson give you any nervous feelings? We know Adam, no, but you?
No, not really. Anthony Richardson has been the most inaccurate quarterback this season. Good catch there, Adam. He especially on a run. So like one of you guys mentioned, if we're blitzing this guy and he has to take off, look for Kirby Joseph to add to his interception count. Look to Brian Branch to add to his interception count. Bada bing, bada boom. But we do have to be careful that this doesn't veer into the unknown, unsaid SOL territory where Anthony Richardson runs for 250 yards by himself and keeps the game close. As long as that doesn't happen, which I predict it won't because that's SOL, the Lions should have no problem at all containing this young quarterback. I would actually feel more threatened in a trap game if Joe Flacco was starting.
Okay, that's awesome. I love that. I'm glad you said that. That gives me something to think about. Okay, so that was the questions I had for that. Let's get to our keys to victory. We'll start with Julius. Run it right back with you. What is your first key, or what is your one key to victory?
My one key to victory is keep the pedal to the metal. Keep the metal to the pedal. I had that reversed. Thanks for catching it. I caught it.
Smash and grab, bro. It all rhymes. Don't worry, dude.
We just continuation of the road that we've been on. Don't let off the gas. Don't listen to Chris Christie. Don't feel bad. And we should take care of these guys just as well we took care of the last couple teams we played.
Love that. Adam, you got a key to victory?
Just said it. Blitz. I think we need to dial up some safety blitzes. Let Campbell blitz. Just don't let the Colts hang around due to Anthony Richardson, bulldozing his way into, 8 to 10 yard touchdowns when they get down there. If they get down the red zone. We're going to remember that one, Mike. We are going to.
Yeah, Bennett, we will call you out on that, sir. All right.
What? Yes, I don't think he will rush for 250. Now, I wouldn't shock me to see Anthony Richardson rush for like 100 yards, have 2 rushing touchdowns, and the Lions still win this game, 35-17 or, handily win it. So if that's Aaron Glenn's game plan, I'm all for it. It seems like he's been coaching out of his mind. Not seems like he is coaching out of his mind these last, 10 games. And I think he does it again, especially with a young, inexperienced guy like Anthony Richardson.
I'm going to say something spicy real quick before I get to my victory. Adam, you just said he's been Aaron Glenn's been coaching out of his mind for the last 10 months, right? That's what you said, right? Or in the last 10 games, right? I think he was a better coach last year than he was this year. I just think we had Kendall Vildor, Ife Melifonwu, Cam Sutton. Who was opposite of Aiden Hutchinson? Charles Harris or John Comiskey? Who did we sign at week 15? Like the defensive tackle, Huka Nakua or something of that nature? We didn't have anyone. I think he coached better last year with the scrubs he was given than he needs to this year. I'm not saying he's a bad coach this year. I'm just saying he doesn't need to coach as good because our players will make up for whatever happens. Last year, he had to be on his A game just to make sure the other team didn't score 40 points a game. Hot take, but that's just what I'm going to say. My key to victory, if the Colts were to win this game, the only way, in my opinion, that happens is Jonathan Taylor. We're all talking about Anthony Richardson rushing for all these yards. I think if Jonathan Taylor rushes for 185 yards and controls the game clock, and we have some kind of picks with like Goff or fumbles with whomever, that is how they win. So my ultimate key to victory is just hold Jonathan Stewart like we did Joe Mixon, like we did Travis Etienne. Like we have the past two running backs, but don't let them be in the Tony Pollard and Aaron Jones, aspect of against us. So just hold Jonathan Taylor, just hold their running game, whether it be Anthony Richardson, just hold their rush game. If we can hold them under 150 total rushing yards, we win this game by 48. That's our three keys to victory. Blitz, hold the run, and I don't remember what Julius said, but it was something important. So oh yeah, there we go. And let's get to our predictions game. I had a video, but it's off. It's gone a little too late, but we're still gonna play it. Oh, predictions game. Last week was a freaking crazy week because we had some debates, but ultimately it got ended. We all predicted the correct team with the Lions. Adam was 8 points total away with a 48-10 guess. It turned out to be 52-6. He was 4 points off on both teams, but he did win correct score, closest to. I manifested Julius winning offensive MVP by circling Jahmyr Gibbs before it even happened, and he ultimately won over David Montgomery and Jamison Williams. Kirby Joseph ultimately won defensive MVP for Adam over Brian Branch and Aleem McNeil. Adam finished the day with 3 points to take the lead with 21 total points on the year. Julius sits at second place at 20 points on the year after getting 2 points, and I sit in last place at 17 points on the year after getting 1 point. Meaning, I will go first, Julius will go second, Adam will go third. Pick your team, pick your score, pick your offensive MVP, and pick your defensive MVP. I'm going to start with the Lions victory. I'm going to go with, oh my God. I'm going to go with Jahmyr Gibbs, offensive MVP. I'm going to go with Kirby, defensive MVP. And I'm going to say the Lions win this game. Oh, I wanted that shutout so bad last week, boys. I'm not going to lie to you. I really wanted to predict that shutout. I wanted it. First drive, they got a fucking field goal. And then they didn't score again. I was like, golly. I want to be exactly right on this. I'm going to say the Lions win this game 38-10. 38-10. 38-10 Lions. 38-10. Julius, you're next.
I am also taking the Detroit Lions to win and become 10-1 in Indianapolis. Lions. I had this score circled before the show started. Lions 33, Indianapolis 10. Offensive MVP, David Montgomery, low-hanging fruit. Pounded in 3 touchdowns. Remember I said that. Defensive MVP, the number one chaos agent of them all, Brian Branch.
Chaos agent. Oh, I freaking love it. Adam, you do not have Gibbs or Monty, Kirby or Branch. Who's your winner? Who's your scorer? Who's your MVP?
Safeties and the running backs. I see how it is. But just a quick little recap from last week. Yes, called 48-10. Should have given those Jaguars 4 points to the Lions, who had on the dot. I also predicted the Lions would cover the spread themselves, which they did. I also said that J-Mo would have a 50-yard touchdown, but it might not be enough to win him the Offensive Player of the Week, which both true. And then finally, I called my Kirby Joseph interception on Mac Jones, which was inevitable. Super curb is inevitable when it comes to interceptions. I do think he gets another one, especially against Anthony Richardson. I'm going to go with one of the biggest, not biggest, because not the biggest, because I want to say Julius picked like Levi Onwuzurike like week 2 or something crazy.
It was bold. There's a reason why Julius hasn't won a defensive MVP yet this year,
Right.
but it's bold. Sometimes you got to be bold to win. I love it.
I am going Agent Zero, Terrion Arnold, defensive player of the game. I think he gets his first interception. I think we see that's why we drafted this dude moment from this kid. He's just too talented. It's due. It's going to happen. And if it doesn't happen this week, great. It'll happen on Thanksgiving. It doesn't happen it'll happen for the Bills game. It doesn't happen for the playoffs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So Terrion, he's too talented to not have a single interception all season long. I think by way of just being right spot, right place, right time, he's going to get a pick. Terrion, just keep those defensive pass interferences down. Should cruise to a DPOW. Score prediction. Point spread's a little high this week, 50.5. The Jets did just put up 27 against the Colts, which I'm absolutely confident the Lions can top that. So I've said like 35, like 5 times in this, whole episode. So I'm going to go back to 35. I feel like that number's been sticking in my head. 35 to 13. I feel like this is a game where a lot of people are going to be betting the over for the Lions, offense, but we're just going to hold them to 1 touchdown all game and keep Anthony Richardson in hell. And then my offensive player, I got to go with possibly the hottest guy the last 8 weeks on this team, and that is the Sun God. Amon-Ra St. Brown went 11 for 11, 161, touchdown last week, his best week of the year. So it's going to be tough to see how he follows that up, but there's one dude that can follow up 100 or 11 catch, 160 yards and a touchdown game. It is Amon-Ra. So give me the Sun God for a tutty and 125 receiving yards.
I love that. Before we end it, I do just want to. I went and grabbed all our over unders that we did this year in May or June. I don't remember what it was. All I'm gonna say, I'm not spoiling anything. So for anyone who's curious, and I know none of you guys can remember what you guys predicted, but I will just say I set the Terrion Arnold interceptions at 1.5. Meaning, did he get 2 or less?
Still a good line.
It is still a good line. I will not tell anyone what they got, but that is the line. That is where it was at. You all can wait until after the season to figure it out. Adam, take us home, dude.
Oh, man. As always, check us out at the Honolulu Blues _ of course, on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Twitch, Facebook, all that good stuff. Comment, like, subscribe, whatever you want to do to help the show out. We appreciate all the love. And check us out individually at Everyday FFB for myself, Nick Faber NFL for Nick, and the Fifth Top for Julius. And as always, boys and girls,
go.